So, how do you throw a curveball to players during the last session of a campaign? By making the final boss a bard, of course.
I can see what's in your hand. Skullduggery, skullduggery, feeling just the pain. Killer smile, now I understand. Skullduggery, skullduggery, shattered hopes and dreams all fall down. Yeah!
Hello and welcome to the last recap of Mirror Mirror Reflections. Yep, this is episode 12. The campaign was 12 sessions long. And even though it was 12 sessions long, it was a little bit over 3 months because, we had to skip a couple of Fridays. I believe the campaign ended really, really well. And I say campaign, but usually like our campaigns, the way my group of friends we run them is like a campaign is just a big adventure. We have a big adventure and that would be the end of the campaign. However long it takes us to complete it. Sorry if I'm wheezing a little bit. Just ate a lot of pizza and it was delicious. So, the campaign, the last session started off. Them at Missing Glam after the man from the other world told them where the mirror gate was. Lord Captain Krona told them, I want to check this out because if there's a chance that I can help the ghosts of the people of my hometown, I want to do it. James Stormcrow was against this idea. He didn't like it one bit. There was a little bit of pitter-pattering and he said, Captain Krona said, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to look at that thing. If you guys want to come, you're more than welcome. I would like to have your company. And James said, well, it would be really bad of me if I don't accompany you because that is my duty, so I'm going to go. They went on their way there, just half a mile southeast. They saw a couple of weird creatures that they looked to be amalgamations between different humanoids, amalgamations between humans and other monsters and weird things. But they weren't. There were a lot of them, a whole lot of them, but they were able to pick them off one by one because they weren't paying attention. Like if they got near, they would try to attack, but they had 100 men with them. It was them, the other Drow, Lord Commander Krona, and 100 men that worked for Krona. And yep, that's they noticed that the things were obviously evil and bloodthirsty, but they weren't organized. And as soon as they got to the portal, they saw the mirror gate, and they noticed that there were like 30 of them around it. However, they were just like standing there. It's like one of the players asked me, is it that they're guarding it or because they have to? Does it look like they're actively guarding it, or does it look like they're just accidentally guarding it? And I told them they look like they're accidentally guarding it. So they kill off the other creatures. They finally go into the portal. Krona said he wanted to go first. Stormcrow said no because I want to scout ahead. And he told them, my men wouldn't want me to go send someone else in. I want to go in first. I'm their leader. I'm leading. So after that little, like talking back and forth between that, they go in. I described the area they were in as something James Stormcrow saw a while back when he was in the hellish place with the twisting monolithic structures that looks like a town square with like a bug creature dead in the middle. I described that same scene. However, this time there were a couple of those shambling monsters around, and at the other end, the players went in, they hid before I was able to describe this. They saw what looked to be an elf with very, very, very long ears, tattoos covering all of his body. However, his veins were glowing blue and you could see them through his skin. And he had solid gold eyes, like eyes were made of solid gold. And he was just that guy was just sitting in the floor, drinking wine, eating cheese, and eating some bread he had crumbled up on the floor. And he would like move the creatures towards the portal, so the creatures would walk towards the portal. He didn't seem too interested in what he was doing, but that was his like one of the things he did. He was sending some creatures in. They didn't pay attention, so he grabbed a bottle. He threw it at the. Sorry. He threw it at the portal so the creatures would see like something going to the portal to be interested in what was happening. So then the creatures started shambling forward. James tells me he wants to get close. Sadly, he didn't search for traps and he triggered an alarm spell. The guy saw him, asked him what was happening, and James just attacks him and misses. Then combat begins and the elf guy goes first, and he's just spends his turn asking, "What is happening? Why are you attacking me?" Like he is not being hostile at all. Like he spent his first turn, he won initiative, and he spent his first turn just asking what was happening. Then James started and he attacked the guy, hit him once, dealt a lot of damage. Then the other players, like, they came out of hiding and they asked him what he was doing. He explains, well, I owe somebody a favor and I'm doing them the favor. They told me to push all these creatures down that portal. That's all I'm doing. And he was doing this while trying to defend himself from James Stormcrow. They talk. Proja and Sestana's turns were spent with them talking with the elf guy, and the elf guy would usually spend one turn talking to them and one turn attacking James Stormcrow, because James attacked him again, hit him again, and he took a bottle, broke it, and like started chanking him with the broken bottle. However, he was dealing 1d4 plus 20 points of damage with that bottle. He was very, very strong. Eventually, they find out that that guy is working indeed for the Black Warlock. However, he used to be trapped in that hellish place. The Black Warlock set him free, so he said he owed him a favor. And that's how he was doing it. And they asked him if he was the one controlling the ghosts. Oh, first he asked how did they know about the mirror gate. They told him about the guy controlling the ghost in the other place. He said, oh, that's the guy apparently trying to take control from the ghost that I have control over. He showed them a little metal rod with a lot of weird symbols on it, and he said, well, this thing, the Black Warlock told me to just hold on to this, and eventually the ghosts from that place are gonna come here. And they said, well, they're not coming. And he said, well, that's no skin off my nose. I was told to stay here until the ghosts came in. If the ghosts don't come in, I'm just gonna stay here until the guy that told me to do this dies of old age, because I'm immortal. After that, I'll just keep on walking. I'm a man of my word, but as soon as he dies, there's no more word to keep. And they said, oh, okay, but we need to go through because we need to go kill him. And he said, well, okay, if he dies of old age is one thing, I can't have you kill him because I do owe him for my freedom. And they said, oh, we don't want to fight you. At this point, James Stormcrow was in the floor in negatives because he got really, this guy also had magic, so he turned into a lightning bolt and crossed through James, and James ended up in negatives. Proja healed him a little bit, hit again, and he said, well, I can't, the elf guy said, I can't have you kill him. However, this guy didn't offer me anything for what I'm doing. Just, it's a favor for setting me free. If you can bribe me, if you can give me something of value, I'll let you go through. I don't care. My services go to whoever can pay me. Basically, is what I told him. They offered him gold, but he said he has no need for gold. And they noticed that he was eating some... Actually, Proja was the one that noticed this. He was eating like a little bit of bread and cheese, and they started offering him food, like a couple of sweet rolls and stuff he had. And he said, okay, I like this, but I'm gonna need more. So they're like, you know, pitter pattering back and forth. Sestana goes back to the mirror gate, asks the people, the men that are around the mirror gate, to see if any of them have any fine wine. Melek was there, and I rolled a random chance, and he had fine wine and some smoked ham. So she took it with him, gave it to him, and he said he liked it. Asked them where he could get more. They told him inside, you know, beyond the mirror gate. He said that he was gonna stay there because eventually they did tell him that there were people beyond the mirror gate that have guns pointed at the mirror gate in case something went through it. So he said he was just gonna stay there for a while until everything ended, so then he would leave. He enjoyed his food. He gave them the stick. He said, for all intents and purposes, you guys killed me. Like, my deal is done with the other guy. I did his favor for a while. You guys gave me something better. So, here's the stuff. I don't care. Now, originally, because here's the thing, the player that was playing James was a little bit ticked off that the other players didn't attack the elf, but the other players told him he was never a threat. This guy didn't really do anything. And I'll be honest, that guy was supposed to be the final boss, the real final boss, but it was a very tough fight. You know, that he was dealing upwards of 20 points of damage per attack. And he had more than one attack per turn. And these guys are level 13. You know, this guy was supposed to be the very, very tough fight at the end of the campaign. But I also had a plan that if they could bribe him, he would let them pass. Because the way that NPC plays is, if you can pay him, he's an extremely ancient and powerful wizard. He's immortal. He has a lot of time. He doesn't mind you bribing him and paying him off, so he won't wreak havoc. And as soon as you die of natural courses, because he's not gonna touch you or anything, then he'll start attacking the countryside again. Because he's just very go happy, chaotic evil in that aspect, but not to the point that he wants to destroy everything. The way I described it to the players after the game is, he'll be the type of man that he will set up a small hut on the outskirts of a village to see if it turns into a kingdom. And after it turns into a kingdom and it's at its most prosperous point, he's gonna attack it and destroy it. And then move on to greener pastures. As long as it takes him to do that. Because he's just immortal. He has the time to faff around and do whatever he pleases. So that was that guy. They defeated him on the other way, which was, you know, bribing him, which was well. I would have liked it to either see all three players fight him at the same time, or see all three players bribe him at the same time. Because James did have fine wine, but he didn't want to pay up, because he wanted to fight this guy. Some players want to do one thing, another player wants to do another, but then you have two players want to do one thing, and the other one player wants to do something completely opposite. But I told them to solve it through role-playing. They go back, Melek destroys the artifact, takes him 24 hours. They head back to Messing Glam. There they set up their battle plans, how they're gonna go through with it. Some people are gonna go to the mirror gate because apparently the Black Warlock doesn't know that they can use that mirror gate now, and other people are gonna go through the blizzard. So they split into two teams. The spellcasters, Proya and Sestana, the Kelf and the Drow, go to the blizzard where an army of skeletons are waiting for them to help them out. That the vampires told them that they were gonna have there for them. And through the mirror gate, Lord Commander Krona, Vivacio Augustus, that told him he wanted to make sure his sister was completely dead. because he knew she came back. Sorry, pizza. And Jack, we're gonna go through the James. We're gonna go through the mirror gate. Oh, on that day also, while they stayed in Endemont, James was contacted by a couple of Jacks. Apparently, they found the nobleman that was hitting on the Jacks. They put him to death. So that solved that plot point. James seemed very pleased with what had happened. After that, they split up. They headed to the Hell place. The spellcasters went through the blizzard. They found Drummond in physical form, and Drummond told them that a while after they left Messing Glamp, the being in the basement told all the ghosts, with my last pieces of strength, I will give you all a second chance. And they all got brought back to life. Two other players were really excited with that. The player playing James, not the player, the character playing James didn't like, no, they're still evil. Then the big fight begins. You know, they start killing off a lot of shambling monstrosities. James and his crew are having very little resistance because nobody was expecting them through there. Eventually, James and his party encounter the daughter of Augustus, Vivacio. Vivacio tells them to keep going ahead. He'll handle that. He was able to bring like an artifact that would call the attention of her attention. And they kept on going. Eventually, once they're nearing a pyramid where all the shambling monstrosities are pouring out of, there are pools of what appears to be like slime and bone and corpses. They start pulling together and they make an ooze dragon. Basically, what that monster was a half dragon Shogoth. That's what that thing was, a half dragon Shogoth. Originally, I had thought of the half dragon Shogoth as the final boss of the game, but that thing was CR 22 and they were level 13. And honestly, I didn't feel like leveling them up anymore because when the game is so story driven, you don't really care about the levels that much. You care more about the role playing and the storytelling rewards. At least that's what I've been seeing. Melek, Drummond, Lord Commander Krona tell the players that they're gonna handle the slime dragon, and for them to go to the pyramid. Eventually, they break into the pyramid. There were a couple of traps around the pyramid, a couple of dispel magics that they had to do to dispel the magical traps that were there. And they go in. Once they go in, it's a featureless room, and in the middle, a big table with a really big book on the table, and the Black Warlock frantically flipping through the pages and mumbling to himself. And he realizes they're there. At first he's like, "What are you guys doing here? You're here too early. What is this?" And they start getting near to attack him. The guy looks unprepared. At that point, a portal opens up and the other spellcaster, the other wizard from the Ashland, pops in, and the Black Warlock is stunned with fear. And the wizard tells him something about, "Oh, you thought you had killed me, but now I'm here to to give you yours." And he's freaking out. The book starts melding with the Black Warlock. But as it's melding with the Black Warlock and the Black Warlock is mutating, the wizard flicks the book off and throws it to the other side of the room. The book grows arms and gangly arms and legs, and the wizard tells the party, "I'll handle the book, you guys handle my apprentice." And so the real final boss fight begins. Now let me give you a little bit of background. I've run a lot of games, and usually I like high fantasy epic stories. That's what I like. And usually I like to finish them out with these bombastic boss fights. Like I've even had a boss fight where the players were fighting a cosmic entity composed of star stuff while they were falling into the planet's atmosphere. It's not that they were in a space station, they were just fighting while they were falling and breaking through the atmosphere. So yeah, that was a boss fight I did once, and it was a really funny one. So yeah, usually I have these big and bombastic boss fights. For this one, however, I wanted to go to the literal other side of the spectrum. The boss fight was started out as a level 15 bard with only one spell left. Granted, it was a fireball that the book granted him. Granted, it was a fireball that was a fortitude save because he was using words of magic. I mean, words of power. But that was it. He used it against James because James went first and attacked him and dealt damage. Then he retaliated with the fireball. And the other turn was really short fight. James hits him once, hurts him. He shoots a fireball, hurts James a lot. Then the other spellcasters, fireball and lightning bolt, hurt him, but he made both saves, so he took half damage. Then the next turn, James hits him again with the sword, deals a lot of damage. The bard, the black warlock, takes out his rapier, stabs James, deals 6 points of damage because it was 1d6 plus 5, and he rolled a 1 on the damage roll. And at that moment, the player looks at me and says, "Can I roll reflexively sense motive to see if he's being controlled or enchanted?" I'm like, "Go ahead." And he rolls really high. Then he rolled like 40. And I'm like, "Nope, the guy is just panicking. You caught him completely and utterly unprepared." After that, Sestana throws another fireball, and then Proya throws another lightning bolt, and he failed both the fireball and the lightning bolt, and he died at the lightning bolt, was completely disintegrated by the lightning bolt, because I said, you die from AoE magic, you're completely, you know. And that was the end of the fight. Completely anticlimactic as to everything else that had happened during the campaign, but that was the idea, and that's what I wanted to happen. Just to have something that the players are like, what? Then they tell me, we look at the other sorcerer, how's he doing? And he says, well, he's just finishing fighting the book. The book turns back into a regular book, and he walks over to you guys with the book in hand. He says, are you all okay? They're like, yeah, we're banged up, but we're fine. And he says, okay, good. You should check yourself to see if the mark went away. And as they were gonna check themselves, James looks at the wizard and says, are you planning something else? Roll sense motive. And he says, and he starts laughing. And the book opens in front of him and it starts being consumed in magical energies. Now the real fight begins. And they're like, we knew it. It was too good to be true. And I told them, well, the book disintegrates. And he says, no, everything's fine. I'm not planning anything. You guys have a good one. And they're like, what? And they was just like, yeah, I was just pulling a fast one on you guys. Well done. Like, I'm very impressed that you were able to subdue my apprentice. Like, you're all gonna get really well compensated by my behalf because you have helped me out a lot. You saved my life, and then you helped me beat this guy up. So I'm gonna give each one of you 10,000 gold pieces. Just like that. He says, I'll find you guys, don't worry, I'll give you your money. And then he leaves. The players go outside. All the shambling monstrosities are on the floor. The ooze dragon dissipated. They look for Vivace, and Vivace told them that, yeah, he was able to defeat his sister with, tears in his eyes. And then they head back out of the hell place, and they go back to Enderman. And there they have merriment. They celebrate. Jack decides to leave by himself. And something I forgot to mention is, while they were fighting, while they were fighting the elf with the gold eyes, when they brought the smoked ham and the fine wine, he told them, I can't look at that right now. I'm looking at this guy that just got revived, and this guy's gonna attack me again. And Proya took a merciful rod that she had, a meta magic merciful rod, and she conked James over the head and stabilized him. And she was like, no, he's completely unconscious. He's not gonna attack you anymore. Sad that it had to come to that, but again, if two players are telling you we want to be diplomatic with a very powerful being that's letting us be diplomatic with it, and it has shown us that it doesn't want to fight, and you're gonna go in guns blazing, I think you're the problem here, to be quite honest. So yeah, that he will see after that he like the character was characterizing the whole fact that he wasn't trusting the Drow and the Kelf anymore, and he just decided to go his separate ways, leave Geatha behind and travel south. And he said, I'll find other jobs south. And Proja, she went back to Kasim and her husband lover guy, and she started traveling with him and his group to sell stuff and be a traveling saleswoman. And that's how she ended her adventure. Sestana decided to call King Ben up and take him up on the offer to join Angelise's troops and go be a bodyguard for Angelise and be with the other Drow. And I told her eventually she was taken to the south, where the weird forest, and that indeed in the forest, there were a lot of, it was like a safe haven for Drow. So all's well that ends well. The player in this ended well. The player that played James told me it was bittersweet, because for the character, not for him, because he enjoyed the game, but for the character it was bittersweet that he was able to finally take revenge on the Black Warlock that marked him from the very beginning. But it was bittersweet because he had to delve into a lot of black magic. He was betrayed by his two best friends, and as far as he knows, his hometown is being completely run over by demons. So to the character, not to the player, to the character, it was very bittersweet because of that. I'm gonna refresh my video, and then when I come back, I still haven't decided whether I'm gonna make this into a two-parter or I'm just gonna add a little bit more. If I don't see you guys until next time, have a great one. It was a great game. I hope you all of you enjoyed listening to me babble on the game that I made. I'm going to make a video game based on this whole campaign, hopefully through RPG Maker. Let's see how that goes. I need to study a lot for that as well. But thanks for listening. It was a fun game. The players enjoyed it, regardless of what happened to the characters. The players told me they enjoyed the game a lot, and they loved the plot twist at the end, where the fight against the Black Warlock, he was just a bard. He was giving all of them a -4 penalty on every roll, but still, it was a pleasant surprise to see that he was incompetent. So, guys, remember rule number 1, always have fun, and see you all soon.